I've just stood up today, and it's quite freaking me out.
I feel really tall.
You look
really tall.
It's really bizarre.
It is quite odd. Writing a second album as a band is a really interesting one, and I'm really happy that we're in a position to be able to do that. Simply because on your first album, well, if all goes to plan, on your first album you sort of lay down a basic idea of what your band does. It's the first kind of proper statement of what you are as a band. And that's that. And the thing about the second record, and this is the position that I see us in, I'm very happy about it, is that we've now established what the core of our sound is, and people now know what the bass in it is. Which kind of anchors us more and allows us to go to other places. That if we'd gone to all the different places we wanted to go right from the word go, first of all we wouldn't have been good enough to do it, and secondly it would have just been overly diverse and sounded like a mess. You know, and you just end up sounding sort of pretentious almost because you're trying to do too much at once. Whereas now I feel that we're in a position whereby, because we've kind of anchored the base of what we do, we don't need to restate that as much, which means that we can try different stuff and try songs that are, you know, have an acoustic guitar or a slower, or at the same time songs that are much heavier and much more brutal, without people mistaking us either for, you know, a folk band or a death metal band, because they know what the core of what we do is. Although I will turn us into a folk band if it's the last thing I ever do.
Well, yeah, you probably will actually.
One album at a time, baby. There's a more, I think the word I want to use is poppy slant to the new stuff we're doing in places, and I will defend that to the hilt, because basically, when I say poppy, what I'm talking about basically is Husker Du and, you know, Foo Fighters and Weezer and that kind of shit, and I fucking love all of those bands, and we didn't really have an element of that before, because, and this is not a positive or negative comment in any way, but that was just something that Cameron wasn't personally into, so we didn't go down that avenue, which is fine. And it so happens that...
Even though he did write I'm a Party.
He did, but that's...
That's big gay.
It's a ska tune.
Most of the songs on like an 8-track, and we've played all the parts we're going to play and done them all separately, so it's going to be second nature. I think by the time we go in, it should be done in no time, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things off the first album. I always felt that once we'd finished doing it, if we'd had a chance to go in and do it again, it would have been a much better album. just because you had that chance to kind of go through everything and do it. And so, you know, because of this, yeah, you know, we've really consolidated, had the chance to get it, we'll have the chance to get it as right as possible. We did a demo with Mark Williams, the guy who's producing the next album. I mean, you know, he's our age, he's like 22, 23, and he's
Really easy going. It's just really, you know, it's just no kind of pressure or anything like that. It's just kind of, it's very smooth.
It's really nice to, I mean, having worked with a few producers who are all great, it's really weird being able to go into a room with someone who can do the job really well, but who's also on the same level as us. You know, it's not like there's some old dude, you know, doing it. It's just nice having some guy who's just like us. You know, it's like kind of having a fifth member kind of helping out, as opposed to having someone separate. So it's really comfortable.
That was a little bit fast.
done drums. We've done all the drum tracks for all 14 songs. Bass has been done as well, which we're very happy with. And
there's one or two bass parts.
we're going to revisit a couple bits, yeah. But essentially, the drums and the bass, that's done. And now what we're doing is, instead of just doing all the guitar tracks and all the vocals, we're kind of like splitting the two up, because that makes sense, obviously. I mean, it would be too strenuous on Frank if you had to do all the vocals all at once. So now it's good, we're just doing it like, a couple songs at a time. We'll do some guitars for a couple songs, then we'll do some vocals for a couple, guitars for a couple, just mix it up a bit. But yeah, it's going really well, and it's been lots of fun. It's the most fun I've ever had recording, because the atmosphere here is just so good, and like the producer Mark's amazing. He's really talented, and he's really patient, and he's really calm, which is so important because everyone gets stressed. But it's going amazingly well.
Yeah,
I'm very happy.
It's weird. I mean, in the past, the way we usually operate as a band is somebody suggests something, and then somebody else screams back at them, and then we kind of punch each other in the head until no one can be asked to fight anymore, and we agree on something. Weirdly enough, that's not happening this time round. It's like just everything seems to be falling into place really easily. Everything was just kind of set up, and when I started playing, it was kind of like, cool, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That'll do, kind of thing,
Yeah, it's been smooth, but there has been, like normal. I mean, there are a couple of times where it's a little bit stressful. Not everything's perfect. Like getting the right sounds for guitars is really tricky. Like getting the right levels of distortion, because everyone is quite finicky and meticulous when when it comes to this sound we want.
I cannot stand not having my say on everything, so I'm generally in the background playing Halo. And if I hear anything I don't like, I'll say
I think
it.
you're getting bored though. I mean, it's just
No,
like
no,
you
no,
get to,
I
like,
love
you
it.
know, just not supervise, but just like be there when everything's going on. So if you kind of, if something ridiculous happens, you can at least
Yeah,
put your opinion.
exactly. I don't like being away when other people. I don't like just going off and leaving people to it. Not because they can't do it, just because I like to have my opinions on stuff. So.
Well, you'll always come back, and there'll be something that's been done that you hate. So you got to be here the whole time if you can. Just that last bit, isn't it?
Yeah, this bit here.
I mean, that was my idea, was to make it sound quite big, I mean, on the other Million Dead records, which I didn't play on, it's mainly like one track guitar, and it works well for those kind of songs, but I don't know, I've always been a fan of quite big, like warm, thick guitar sounds, and I mean, to do that, you kind of need to layer it up with different guitars. We borrowed a few guitars off a friend of ours, and some really nice old ones, and we've just been messing around with different sounds, and it just, when you put them all together, you just get this massive wall of guitars, and I really like that.
Definitely going for a big rock sound on this record.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one track we did last night. It had it was 11 tracks of guitar on it in total. So yeah, it would sound pretty huge. They're all doing different things and stuff as well. I don't know how I'm going to do it live. I'm going to have to figure out something. I've got loads of looper pedals and stuff I'll have to kind of play around with. And yeah, but no, it should be sounding good.
I think there are moments in life when one is allowed to sort of slightly ditch modesty and sort of talk about what you do with some pride. And I think that our first record was damn fucking good for what it was. And I think, there was a challenge for us as a group of people, especially with Tommen, to better that. And I think we've done it. And I just can't fucking wait for this record to come out, because I want to, I want to shake my fist at the world and go, I showed you. Sorry, we showed you.
Oh! Did you see that?
We showed you.
Yes, Frank.
Oh, that was a slip of the tongue.
No, it wasn't.
Fine, you're all fine.
This is what's really happening.
The Frank Turner explosion experience.